there, welcome to our book recommendation library video. Today, I'm going to talk about a book that I've enjoyed reading recently. This book is in the genre of humor, or funny, or comedy. Oh yes, this is so hilarious. But before I tell you something about this book, let me ask you a question. What would you do if you are a president or a prime minister of a country? You might be thinking of serving food and giving shelter to the less privileged people, and making your country a better place. Or simply wants to live in a White House. I ask you that question because today's recommended book is about The Accidental Prime Minister, written by Tom McLaughlin. The main character here is Joe Perkins. He was 12-year-old who became the Prime Minister. Yes, the accidental Prime Minister. How did it happen? Well, let me give you a glimpse of the story. Everyone hated Percival T. Duckham, the Prime Minister of England who wants to close the local parks down. People are calling for him to resign and give someone else a go. Joe Perkins was also horrified with Percival's plan of closing Joe's favorite park, and definitely he couldn't let it happen. "Shut up, you great bumbling warthog," Joe shouted to Percival T. Duckham. From that moment, everyone wants Joe as Prime Minister. When Joe tells a local news reporter exactly what he would do if he were leader of the country, the video goes viral and he became famous all over the world. And that's how an ordinary boy like Joe ended up with the most extraordinary job. Now the fun can really start. Now, the question is, can Joe use his powers to stop bad people around him? Well, you have to read this book to find out. I love this book because it was one of the funniest books I've ever read. There are many funny parts in this story. For instance, on page 127, this was an event when all the schools have a game of rugby, and Mrs. Sanderson, a woman who had been in her 70s, had fall on rugby and tackles Joe, that causing him to spill the ball. Look at that. Can you imagine the 12-year-old Prime Minister and an old woman? It really made me laugh out loud. To sum up, I would rate this book 10 out of 10. And I want to know, how would you rate this book too? So what are you waiting for? Tell your mom and dad to include this book on their list for click and collect book order in the library. Remember, The Accidental Prime Minister by Tom McLaughlin. See you next time. Thank you.